Well, I hope you can hear us now.
Yeah, that was intended. We'll tell you. We'll be honest.
We are transparent.
Top secrets being discussed here.
Yeah.
But what isn't a top secret at this point is that the third test of the Ashes, at this point, very much heading for a result. If a draw happens from here, I will stop believing in the legitimacy of cricket as a sport.
No way.
There is no way this is heading for a draw.
No, Shane, we're not going to let you go that far. Don't worry.
So this is 100% heading for a result, and it's only day 3.
I think what should be the talking point here is, and we should be, let's say, up for a poll, maybe this could be a poll, whether we're getting a result today or tomorrow. Because no way is it going to go to day 5.
No.
So maybe, I have a feeling, I'll be honest, I think there is a result coming today itself.
I think.
Day?
Given, see, there were 13 wickets if I'm not wrong on day 1. Yesterday as well, flurry of wickets. There is no reason for me to believe that, England aren't going to push for wickets, let's say in the opening session.
No.
Australia, of course, they don't really have the kind of runs to push England enough, let's say, into the following day. And if, let's say, it goes by what I feel it will go like, I think there's a result coming by the end of today's day's play.
It's quite possible actually, considering where the test match is at and considering the fact that, as you said, wickets have fallen in clusters. So if it happens, and they're already 4 down.
Yeah.
If England can get a couple of early wickets, then they could potentially be batting come the middle of the second session. So you could very well be seeing a result today.
The only sort of circumstance, where possibly a result is not possible today would only be because of the rains, as has been pointed by, I think, Piyush Khattar in the comments section. And I do sort of agree over there, because I was just checking before we went live, I was just checking the weather conditions out there. It does appear to be cloudy, and some of the English players did come out of the field. The big cover is still on there in Headingley. There is no drizzle though, but for some reason the covers are still on, especially the big covers on, and some of the English players were seen playing a bit of football over there.
That's never a good sign, considering how many of them get injured while doing that.
All while playing golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's going to go until tomorrow. I don't know, before lunch or maybe early, the session right before lunch, early in that session, I believe.
The first session.
The first
The first session.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, Gargi.
Yes.
No, wait.
You
no.
meant tea.
No, she meant the
something
C. Yeah, she meant the
else.
second
You meant
session.
tea.
I meant tea before tea.
I think you need some.
Yeah,
You need some coffee, if not tea.
absolutely.
100%. So I think that's where the test is at right now. Of course, as we said, we've been, and this is one thing that's really baffled me. I know we've seen a lot of wickets fall. I don't think this pitch has had any demons.
I agree, Shane. I don't think there's any reason for us to believe that the pitch has any demons in it. What's been on display has been, I think, very good test bowling.
And atrocious test batting from
And
both sides.
Some careless shots from both the sides. I still think that both sides, I think, have done well with the ball. And you need not necessarily always, let's say, see hundreds, which is why I am fine with, let's say, the batters also, let's say, having an off day or throwing their wickets away, which we saw at times. We saw a couple of hundreds anyway in the previous test match. So even though if it's an early result, yes, the crowds over there in England will hate us for saying this, or hate me at least for saying this, but I don't mind an early result. Not all Ashes test matches have to go to the
last session of the fifth day.
Last session, last hour, not every time. Given the pace of it, what I'm actually liking is why I would actually want to see a result today is given the pace of it. The previous one just ended, let's say, the previous weekend, and in almost no time, you had, in about 4 days' time, you had the other test match take place. So I like the pace of it, which is why I do think, and the kind of urgency with which both teams have played or given away wickets, whatever you want to say or look at it, I have a strong feeling because the tempo of the game has reached a point where I feel it's going to be very difficult now to move into day 4, given all the drama that's happened within 2 days' time. Highly unlikely that there is going to be a day 4. Certainly not a day 5. Day 4 still I would sort of give it a chance. Maybe yes, there could be, let's say, a first session on day 4, but nothing really beyond that, unless of course there is like a big batting display or a big performance there with the bat coming in from runs the Australians. I think Australia will determine from here on whether or not we have 4 days of play, or let's say 3 days and let's say a session or 2 off play or not, because if let's say England are to bundle Australia out for under 200, let's say they're at 114 at the moment. If let's say 200, 214, just about let's say another 100 odd runs from here, then of course I don't see the match going into day 4 at all. If it's anything beyond that, then possibly you could look at a circumstance wherein there is some sort of play on day 4, otherwise not.
But I think we should also look at what would happen if it rains for the whole day, because I remember
But is there a forecast for the
Yes,
whole day?
For the 4th day as well.
The whole of 4th day or today?
I don't know. I'm not sure about the details, but I remember checking the weather before the test match started, and day 3 and day 4 thunderstorms were predicted.
You're right about the thunderstorms, but interestingly, there's a very credible journalist I was following this morning on Twitter, and he put up a pictorial description showing as to how there is a storm alert in the areas surrounding Headingley.
There's a yellow alert.
But at the same time, there is a slight chance that the area where you have the stadium, that might avert this whole storm of sorts. So if that happens, you might not see any rain at all, and it could just remain, let's say, cloudy and dry as it is at the moment. It's not moist is what I also read. So that could also be the thing, given all those pictures that I saw, because it showed how the storm could really, go around Headingley and Leeds for that matter. So if that's the case, well, you have a game, or rather a full day of cricket to look forward to. Otherwise, well, something that we as spectators of the game, we don't like is interruptions, and that could be the thing.
Absolutely. I mean, look, interruptions, the one good thing is, of course, this test is poised in such a way that even if you have a few sessions which are not playing, you're definitely getting a result.
Absolutely.
It's just a matter of when rather than if, because at this point again, 4 wickets down, and if I'm England, I'm thinking I get these 2 batsmen out, I get Head and Marsh, and then all that's left is Carey and the tail enders. So you need to get early wickets. If they get those couple of early breakthroughs, Australia very much on the back foot. And the thing with Carey is, good as he has been, he only plays one way. So more often than not, he'll look to attack, counter-attack, and if he's only batting with tail enders, I don't think he's going to look to bat long. It'll be go big or go home. But otherwise, beyond that, I think England can be happy with their bowling at least, if not their batting. They're still
have to thank Moeen Ali for those 2 wickets.
2 very big breakthroughs. Of course, no, I think they should thank Steve Smith for throwing his wicket away. A horrible shot. It's the 9th ball of the innings. And Steve Smith playing a slog? Really? Slog? I didn't understand it. Of course, the send-off he got afterwards was...
Even Labuschagne, again, when you know there's a man there in the deep, why would you go for that shot?
He picked the one man who was there. It's like Harry Brook was the only man there and he picked him out.
I think both the besties will have only themselves to play to blame for those poor shots. Especially, between the two, maybe Labuschagne, come on, there's just one man, as you pointed out, Shane, just one man out. Why would you go for that shot? Even if you want to go for the sweep, why a lofted sweep?
Exactly. Why that particular shot at that particular time, picking out the only fielder who's in the team?
That when you knew sort of that, England had their tails up.
Exactly.
Is it the Bazball effect?
I don't know.
The opposition? I don't know. Because... that urgency of wanting to get a lot of runs.
But see, Australia have stuck to their plan.
That's true.
They've frustrated England in the previous Test match. Also, we saw that they've frustrated England with their conventional mindset only. And of course, given Bazball, they'll always be in a sense of urgency. They want to have quick results, both with the bat, with the ball as well. They're always looking to wrap things up quickly. So the way to frustrate England is to stick to your guns, stick to the plan, stick to conventional cricket, and the English will get frustrated. So I'm not too sure if England would want to, rather Australia would want to give, let's say, a piece of their own medicine to England. Marsh was an exception, let's say, that blitzkrieg of a knock, let's say, that he played. But otherwise as well, the tons that we've seen, let's say the ton that we saw from Steve Smith in the previous test, it was all conventional cricket, the way we've seen Steve Smith play. So I don't think Australia are going to deviate from their plans or their approach in any way. They know that there's a long way to go in this test match. There's definitely a result over here. So no reason for them really to take the attack to England with the bat. Yes, of course, with the ball they would want to be aggressive right from the start, but with the bat I think they know they've got all the time to pile on the runs.
In fact, with Australia also, why it is I was baffled by both of those shots. One was because at the time when Labuschagne went for that shot, England had actually, or rather Australia had weathered the storm of losing Warner early, because I think Broad at this point should just have that wicket credited to him from beforehand only. Just no one else seems to get him. But they had weathered that storm of losing Warner early, put together a 50-run stand, and then Marsh goes and plays that unnecessary shot, and thereafter then Smith making it worse, because he played out 9 balls and then was dismissed. So it's like, I don't know. I just didn't understand that. It was rare, to quote Smith, a brain fade on his behalf. But other than that, now I think, both teams can say, look, we're in this position, and neither of them actually is very delicately poised. I don't think either team starts favourite right now. It'll really depend on how the first hour goes. Again, that quote-unquote key first hour, crucial first hour. I think it will really depend on who wins that first hour will be in a better position come, the later parts. But of course, we don't even know when that first hour is.
But I think over here, Australia have a better chance of frustrating England. Again, because it's about England's template, it's about England's desperation at this point to come, so to have one back, let's say, in the series. So it's all about, Australia just frustrating England. And if they can weather that first hour, let's say, it will be a frustrating day ahead, I think, for England.
Absolutely. That I agree with. You were saying?
No.
Oh, I thought you were.
We could look at a few comments.
Absolutely. Cricket's religion says that England got exposed in front of Australia. Their template can work for other teams, not Australia. I think, you're right in that sense that I think a team that is as, say, well drilled as Australia are, it would have been very tough, and it's proved it was very tough to Bazball them. It is easier to do that to the quote-unquote weaker teams.
Or let's say in conditions, let's say in Pakistan, you saw the kind of cricket that they played against.
It worked there because...
Exactly. It will work on tracks. See, the flatter it gets, the easier Bazball becomes, let's say, to implement. Different conditions, yes, credit to England. In fact, despite conditions, they've managed to come out with Bazball and play Bazball every now and then. But again, with every over, there is some merit in what I think cricket religion says. It's not going to be easy, let's say, with this Bazball approach to, win against Australia at the moment. They're the World Test champions for a reason.
Exactly.
And even right now, when there is no Nathan Lyon in the squad, even then, if Australia have managed to, pull things to an extent that the match looks even Stevens, it is credit to the kind of cricket that Australia are playing.
Absolutely. Go a little down. Akash Bharadwaj asked an interesting thing, really, saying, are you seeing Stokes making a return in the ODI World Cup? I doubt. I think he retired from ODIs for a reason, is because he wanted to manage his workload, and to be told, you've seen the amount of struggles he's had with injury recently. I doubt he'll become an all-format player once again. I would have liked it.
You still see him with that strapping, you still see him occasionally with that.
He was, even the knock he was playing, he was at times on one leg.
Kimbo says, which I think is a bit true, England is getting under Australia's skin, making them play rash shots.
Actually, that is actually a good point, because again, when Smith was dismissed, Bairstow gave him a nice send-off. He didn't say anything bad. He just said, see you later, Smudge. And Smith was not happy about it. So I think they're going with the other tactic, or rather the age-old Aussie tactic of trying to rile up the Aussies, which actually has worked a little bit. But
in case of Steve Smith, I'm not sure if it's always a good thing. We saw, let's say, what happened in the first Test match, where those chants really riled him up, in the sense that he answered those sort of that sort of jeering with the century in the next Test match.
Exactly, it's not always the best of ideas to do that to him.
Exactly. But there are certain players it doesn't just work against. Johnny Bairstow himself is one of them. Virat Kohli is one of them. Ben Stokes again is one of them. Steve Smith again. These are the kind of players against whom all the jarring, all the noise sort of doesn't work well with.
Absolutely. Let's see. Manik Biswas says that both don't agree with this take. Both matches they could have won. Yeah, we agree with that. I think
the first definitely they wouldn't have lost. Again, I think that's what we were discussing. The first, whose comment was that?
Manik Biswas.
Yeah.
Or Manik Biswas. Okay.
Manik, I think. Yeah. So I think yes. With a little bit of a conservative approach, definitely the first Test match it could have been a draw. Definitely. England wouldn't have lost it had they stuck to the conventional approach. But again, it's their hunger for results, let's say, at the moment, which is come to bite them at times, and it will continue to be the case when you play top
nations.
teams. It is gonna happen. It could go the other way as well, but again, when you play somebody like in Australia, and if you play an upbeat India or an upbeat South Africa for that matter, this is something that's gonna come to bite you more often than not. I feel it's not the success rate. This is where it comes to test, I feel.
Absolutely. Because again, it's easy playing that against teams that don't quite have the resources in terms of players. Because you saw they absolutely, bulldoze New Zealand at home. Don't even get started as to what they did to Pakistan. I think they made Pakistan question the need to have batter-friendly pitches. That's how bad it was, that particular test series. But 600 odd on the opening day and all that, that was bad. But yeah, I don't think it's easy to play that against top nations, and I think you're seeing that now.
Yeah.
Down. I think that's a good one, is that, Cricket's religion saying that if Stokes can score faster, why block until 7 wickets are down? Because more often than not, see, it's easier said than done, first off, but more often than not, he's having to play the anchor because the people around him are playing the right shots.
Yeah.
So then he has to wait until a point where there is no other option but to attack, in which case he goes berserk. And truth be told, he has the ability in test cricket. I wouldn't say a better player when it comes to shifting gears. Because he can wait and then suddenly go for it, but he has to.
And I think it's very situational with Ben Stokes because the kind of batting that he does once, wickets are falling off from one end, that is something he does under, let's say, this is something he has to do.
Exactly, it's immense pressure. Yeah.
This is not something, if he tries to play that way when,
wickets are falling, then you'll question.
When wickets are not falling, when he has the time and the support to kind of, play a long innings, why would he do that? Because he also risks, giving away his wicket while playing those rash shots. He only does it when he absolutely has to play that way.
Exactly, it's not, and in fact, I think England can learn a thing or two from their skipper in that regard. Yes, look to play attacking cricket, but let it be situational.
Yeah.
Don't just look to play everything as, don't Bazball everything, basically. And to answer your question, Akash Bharadwaj, if England managed to win this, do you see them winning the Ashes? No. At best, they can draw it. If they win it, then I think Australia have a lot of questions to ask themselves. If they win it.
I don't see it happening either.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I think that's it. We can call it.
Yes, I think we've taken a
Call
bulk
it
of the
alive?
questions.
Call it alive, yeah.
Okay.
What is UPSC aspirants?
When will our Bazballer Pant be back? That's a good question.
Well,
no one really knows.
No wonder. Good signs though. It's been a good recovery for him so far. You keep seeing pictures. Like yesterday as well, he shared an image where you can see him. He was cutting a cake for Mahendra Singh Dhoni. The other day, you could see him playing some table tennis as well with Irfan Pathan. So these visuals look promising. It's been a good recovery for him so far. A miraculous recovery in many ways, because given the kind of injuries and the surgeries, the multiple surgeries that he had to go through, you were looking at a recovery period of good 18 to 20 months. But that, given some reports that we've been able to track, that seems to have come down to maybe about a 12-month period. But even then, you won't be seeing Rishabh Pant playing competitive cricket for good 6 to 8 months from now as well.
Exactly.
You hope to see him soon, and the best wishes from here as Sports Today as well to Rishabh Pant. But it's a long road to recovery, because he had some muscle ruptured, he had some surgeries as well. So, let's just be happy that, he is recovering well at the moment.
Absolutely. So I think, okay, that's it. We know we're expecting, some of us are expecting a result. Let's just check the poll result.
Let's just have a look at the poll result though. So, we'll ask you guys whether you see this match extending to day 4 or even in fact day 5. Well, 67% of you feel that there is a day 4 in this test match. The second highest votes was
end of day 3, which is today.
End of day 3, which is today, and only a few of you there felt, just about 13%, that the match will go to day 5. So let's just see how it holds, how the third test match progresses. a crucial first hour, as we love saying it here at Sports Day. Coming up, do watch that. Do watch the day ahead. Do keep subscribed to Sports Day. Tap that bell icon in case you haven't already done so that you know every time we're live with updates, not just from the Ashes but other sports as well. From Gargi, Shane, and me. Bye bye.